Hi, it's Therese, and this is the Inspiration Challenge for February 2020 at Altenew, and this is my card. I decided to use the three colours from the inspiration to make a fairly clean and simple card, and I started by stamping out the Peony spray with some permanent black ink onto some 80-pound Neenah, and I want the flower to be white, so I need to add some shadows, and I'm using the artist markers to do that. And I've got the TG, it's the two lightest colours out of that set, and also the Zero or the colourless blender. And I'm starting by just sort of picking out some spots on the base of the petals, just adding a little bit of the grey, and then using the blender pen to blend it out. And what the blender pen does, it actually lifts some colour and it helps blend out the ink so it doesn't look like the line of the ink is quite so bold. How I looked at the flower was I saw where the petals sat and then just chose the places where I thought the shadows would be. I didn't want to overdo it, and I will come back in and add a little bit of darker shading with the second grey soon, but often I like to leave the colour to sit for a little while and dry. It doesn't take very long at all to dry on the paper, but I might as well colour something else in while I'm waiting for that. And it also gives me time to think and look at the image a little bit more and work out where I think I've missed some of the shading. It's hard to get that boldness about adding more depth because I'm always afraid of mucking it up or going too far. But I'm getting better at being bold and taking that next step and adding some of the darker shades, because it really can take your colouring to the next level. And it's fun. And it's only paper. We can start again. Might not want to, but we can. So the photo of the flower today is from a local tree that grows around here called a Frangipani. They come in lots of different colours, and the most usual, normal colour is the one that I've got in the inspiration photo. So it has the yellow centre with the white edges, and it smells stunning. It's a really pretty flower, but it's also a really fragrant flower. And of course I can't help you to smell it from here, but if you come and visit, then I'll show you and you can smell it for yourself. I think a similar stamp that Altenew have, I was looking through the floral stamps at Altenew, and the one that I found that was the closest to it was called the Playful Plumeria. So I'd really love it if anyone has that stamp and they use that for this inspiration. I think it would be perfect. But of course you don't have to have the exact flowers that are in the inspiration or the exact products that are in the inspiration, because that's what it is. It's your take on the photos and the colours and how you want to create, and you can just go for it. Alright, so I've got the coordinating die for this stamp, and I'm just going to cut that out, and also I want to do some inlay die cutting. So I wanted to change it up a bit today, and instead of making my flower yellow, I want the background to be yellow. And I've got some of the warm sunshine cardstock here, and I want to inlay die cut this flower but have little pieces sort of hanging over the edge. So I've cut it just smaller than the flower, and then I'm using the same die cut again to run that through my die cutting machine. It's really important to keep all the pieces, and there's a tiny little yellow piece. You might be able to see it near my left thumb there. I did have to find that one later. I thought I was going to have to start again. And now that I've got all my puzzle pieces together, I actually did cut another piece of the warm sunshine cardstock to the same width as the original panel and added some glue tape to the background, and then I can just piece all the edges and the flower together I started by putting one of the corners and then laying the flower on top. I figured if it's the same colour behind the flower, like this panel that I've created, then if I don't adhere it exactly in place, no one's going to notice, because it's only going to be the yellow showing through anyway on the yellow. And this glue tape is awesome. It's a dotted tape, so it has a really strong hold after it's, I don't know if I use the word dried, set, but while it's freshly laid down, it's very forgiving, so you can actually move your pieces around. And now, gotta say, folks, here the struggle is real. I could not work out what sentiment I wanted to use. I get one packet out, I'd heat emboss. I knew I wanted like the black background with the white writing because I knew I needed something to pop. And I tried everything, and in the end I just grabbed the circled sentiment set, and I had one sitting in the back and it has heaps to choose from. And when I laid that on top, I thought that just looks so much better than everything else that I'd tried, and I actually walked away and came back. But I did it in the end, and I used my Misty to stamp it out with some obsidian black ink because I knew that was going to be a nice bold black, and I die cut it out, popped up the panel on the front of the card, and also popped up my sentiment. I can't wait to see how you're inspired by these colours and these flowers. I'll put all the links below for the February 2020 Inspiration Challenge with Altenew. And if you did like this video, please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. There's always heaps of inspiration here. I look forward to seeing you here again real soon. Till next time, bye!